Hello everyone, in today's lesson we are going to go over probably the most requested video there is in this entire series. I'm sorry this is taking a little while to get out, but we're going to go over how to actually keyword a listing in order to get that organic search traffic that we all want. So, like I said, this is probably the most requested video we had because I do a lot of videos on research. You've seen that in the Merch Academy, how I go through, figure out what kind of customer demand there is in a specific niche, how to actually give that to someone who knows what they're doing. They come back with a design, and then at the end of the day, it is going to be up to you in order to put that design up on Merch by Amazon and use the right keyword in order to get essentially the traffic to your listings without actually paying to drive the traffic. I'm going to teach you how to keyword your listings in order to get them in front of the most people possible without keyword stuffing and making your listing look, pretty trustworthy. So, as you can see, we are inside of Merch Informer here, and at the top, I have opened 3 Merch by Amazon pages. As you can see, I've put some designs in here. Now we're going to go over 3 of these designs, and then we might go through some of the designs that we just find in the wild and see, are they properly optimized? What can we do to change them? To give you kind of an idea, because this isn't an exact science. This is something you're going to have to test. But just to say that again, you are going to have to test all of this stuff that I'm telling you. What I'm telling you might work great for one niche, but in another niche you might want to take a different approach. So this is something you should always be learning how to do, always be working on, and kind of keep in the back of your head that this is something you might need to go through old listings and update once in a while just to make sure that you are at the front of the organic search. So let's just start with the first design I have here. I've uploaded it. This says, "Have you seen Molly?" And it is all it kind of has a 3D effect. I gave this to one of my designers, and this is what they came back with. Now, if you aren't familiar with a certain niche, then you have 2 options. One is completely ignore the niche and move on. That's probably going to be the easiest. But 2, if you find there's customer demand there, like I have, and you're not familiar with the niche, you need to be able to actually look up what kind of keywords people are using in this niche. What is the slang? What are the slang terms that people use? Now, in this case, Molly is a specific drug. I do know that much. So let's just start this off right off the bat. We'll go into Merch Informer, and let's just pull up some of the best-selling shirts with the keyword Molly. So we'll search this, and we'll give this a second to come back with the results. All right, so you can see that it's come back with the results. It's pulled back about 100 results here. We're going to go through and we're going to look for any kind of shirt that is ranking for the keyword Molly. So see Molly Hatchet, that has nothing to do with drugs, I do not believe. Stacy Plays, let's see, Chicago's Fire, no, that is not related to the drug. Unicorns, let's see, if I can't bring my Molly, I'm not going. Molly's a puppy, so that's unrelated. So right here, we see the very first result that includes some keywords that we want to take a look at. So I'm just going to open up the product here, and as you can see right here, what this is it is a molecule for something. Let's read through the description here. I always like to familiarize myself with a niche before I even do any amount of keywords. Really, you should familiarize yourself before you send the designs to your designer, because you want to make sure that you are not infringing on anyone's rights, and if you don't understand the niche as a whole, then you have to learn. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing it. So we'll come in here. Let's see. Funny shirts legalize marijuana. Looking at this and seeing that it is a trippy Molly MDMA ecstasy X rolling EDM molecule shirt. So right there, I'm hoping that most people that are watching this realizes that is a terrible title. This is literally just a bunch of keywords stuffed in, followed by molecule shirt. So I'm assuming, just from looking at this is a molecule for one of these drugs, and I'm pretty sure that these are all names for the same drug. So we'll come through, we'll look at the bullet points, of course, and again, this is not a trustworthy listing. All they did was they spammed a bunch of keywords, and they hope it ranks. Merch hasn't done anything about this yet, but I'm hoping they will in the future. But in order to make sure that we are doing things the right way, we are not going to keyword stuff like they did. But anyways, it says psychedelic shirt, trippy shirts for women, so on and so forth. LSD shirt, LSD molecule, so on and so forth. So remember, we looked up the keyword Molly, and I'm just going to open up a Google page here and just type in Molly. So now we can learn what this is. Molly is MDMA. This is a drug. This is the very, very long name of what this drug is, aka it's called ecstasy, party drug, the desired effects, so on and so forth. So that is why they're talking about trippy, psychedelics. So we're going to keep this listing open because we're going to come back here. We want to familiarize ourselves with the niche as a whole. So let's keep going down here. Again, this is a name. We're really looking for drug references because the shirt we put up here, Have You Seen Molly, is going to be related to drugs. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to a concert, but typically if you're at a concert, a rave type of concert, people are walking through the crowd asking, you know, have you seen Molly? AKA they're searching out drugs. So that's what we're looking for. So far, I'm not really seeing it. Here is another one. This might be from the same person now that I'm looking at it. And they didn't spam the keywords nearly as much. But as you can see, there's a bunch of keywords here. We are going to use these different keywords in our own listing. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second here. Just see if there's any more shirts. So as you can see, this may or may not be mine. Keep going down. All right, so I don't really see anything. We're going to do one more search. Remember, we did Google it, and Molly is actually a name for the drug MDMA or ecstasy. So we're going to go ahead and search that and see what comes up. All right, so it's brought back the results, and you can see the results are much, much smaller. So this name, common name for, you know, a lot of different people, common name for apparently some baseball players, or I don't actually remember what the shirt was we just saw, but basically we took this, we looked it up, now we're niching down, we're really getting to the bottom of what this niche is all about. It's all about this drug right here, and we're looking for things that are selling. As you can see, all of these are selling, and they're all related to what we want to put up on Merch by Amazon. Now, we're not copying their design. Notice how the designs look different than all of these. What we're doing is we're taking keywords out of the sellers that already managed to get search traffic, and we're going to use those same keywords in our own personal way with our own unique designs. So we'll open this one up, and we have 3 open, so let's just take a look at these. It says funny, have a safe trip, LSD, psychedelic, drug, t-shirt. Come down here, so magic mushrooms, not really our niche, LSD, and MDMA. Now, I don't know if LSD is the same. I think it is. Let's see. Let's just type in MDMA is LSD and see what comes up. So yeah, LSD I believe is similar. We'll just do Control F. Now, if you aren't familiar, Control F searches the page you're on, and you can just search in. As you see, it pops up a search here. We're just going to type in LSD. And we can click Next. Comes over here. So I believe these are actually the same thing. So now that we're on this page, we've basically done our research. We have products that we know are getting search volume because they are selling. So we know that there's demand there. And we know that these shirts right here use keywords in their listing in order to get that organic visibility. So that's what we want to use. So let me open up a notepad here. You can see I have a notepad. I'm going to keep it on the other screen here. And we're just going to go through this listing right here. And what pops out to you, what is related to the shirt? So we'll start at this one. What is related to aka Molly, LSD, MDMA? So we're just going to write these down. Molly, MDMA, let's see, ecstasy, rolling, EDM, because people are really into EDM music. Let's see, we have, and now looking down here at the keywords, in the bullet points. This isn't what we want to do, but there's keywords here. So psychedelic shirt is a good keyword. We have trippy shirt. I'm gonna go through. This is LSD molecule is related to the actual design. Now the one that we are putting up right here has no molecule in it, so we're not going to use that. Remember, it is key that you describe the design and not the shirt. So that is why merch doesn't want you putting order size up or printed in the USA or anything related to that. You want to describe the actual design on the t-shirt, but not the t-shirt itself. That is very, very, very important. We'll go back here. Let's see, lean bottle shirt. I don't think anyone is sipping on MDMA. Codeine. See, now this person right here is putting unrelated keywords into listings. So not only do you need to go through some of the best sellers to see what keywords they're using, make sure that the keywords they're using are actually related to the niche you're putting a shirt up. And if you don't know, codeine is not the same. This is basically like cough syrup, I believe. So unrelated to the niche that we are doing. So we pulled Molly, MDMA, ecstasy, rolling, EDM, psychedelic shirt, and trippy shirt just from this one design. So we're going to close that out, go to this one. Similar design. Both of these are pretty pathetic, but I'm going to use them because they managed to make some sales. So we know that they've gotten visibility that we want. So go through here. We entered Molly, MDMA, ecstasy. We entered rolling, rave. So this kind of pops out to me. Rave. People like to go to rave music festivals, so we'll put that in there. We already have EDM. Again, we'll go through here. I'm pretty sure this is probably the same person that we just looked at because they put codeine down here again. So we will exit that one out. We'll take a look at this one. And magic mushrooms, nothing to do with the niche that we are in. LSD, MDMA. We've already added those to our little sheet here. And I think that's really all we need. So we're going to go back to Merch by Amazon, and we're going to list this shirt with the keywords that we got here. Okay, so now we need to pick some colors. I like to start my shirts off pretty low. We're going to start this one at $14.99. Now, again, when you're listing, this is a drug-related shirt. Do not select youth. It will get denied. You will get a strike against your account. It won't be very fun. So we want to pick out the best-looking colors here. Typically, the dark colors look great. I'm going to say that that's actually probably pretty good, so we'll hit next. Alright, now this is the part that you've probably all been waiting for. We need to fill out the product details for the design we're putting up. Now, in the past, I've suggested that every shirt have a new brand name. I have definitely changed my stance on that. I've basically taken a look, and I've decided that moving forward, I like to I use different brand names, but I bunch niches under different brands. So if I have a bunch of dog shirts, I'll put all those shirts under a dog-related brand. If I have a bunch of shirts about drugs, I'll put all those under a drug-related brand, so on and so forth. I still like to get a keyword into the brand name here, but I make it seem like an actual brand. So taking this right here, you can see that we have our keywords that we want to include in the listing. Molly being one of them. MDMA, ecstasy, rolling, EMD. That should not be EMD. That should be EDM. My bad. Psychedelic shirt, trippy shirt, and rave. I did forget to put LSD there. So what I'm going to do is typically for the brand name, I don't put exactly what is on the shirt, but I pick a term that relates to the shirt in the same niche. Now, in this case, LSD definitely relates to Molly, aka ecstasy. So I'm going to put in, LSD. We'll put in something like LSD Rave Co. for company. So you get some keywords in there. LSD, Rave, Co. for company. Maybe we'll put a period there. That looks like an actual company name, an actual brand name. You can use something like this for all your drug shirts. And that is actually going to get a keyword in here without spamming the brand name slot. So very, very important. Now, for the actual title of the product, I like to do two things. One, I want to get the phrase, or at least partial part of the phrase into the title, but I also want to include keywords in the title of my product. So the way that might look is I might say, first we're just going to enter in what is on the shirt. Have you seen Molly, with 2 L's, and I always follow it up with t-shirt. So have you seen Molly t-shirt? And I typically put some other keywords in the title too. Now again, over here we have trippy shirt, rave, psychedelic shirt, EDM, rolling, ecstasy, MDMA, and Molly. So I might say in the title, instead of have you seen Molly t-shirt, looking again at the keywords we have, I might go ahead and say trippy, psychedelic, have you seen Molly, rave. Actually, let's just do EDM t-shirt, since we already used LSD up here. So we might use rave down here. So trippy, psychedelic, have you seen Molly, EDM t-shirt. This isn't too long. You can actually say that out loud. It all relates to the actual shirt. And again, we're getting these keywords that we pulled out into the listing without just spamming the hell out of them. That's very, very important. We want the listing rather to kind of resonate with customers and build that trust between the listing page and the customer, because that's how you're going to get them to buy. So let's just let's see what we've entered. We've entered LSD, so we're just going to put a tick there. We entered trippy shirt. Now again, this doesn't say trippy shirt, but includes trippy and includes shirt or t-shirt at the end here. Amazon does pick up on that. Their algorithm is very, very smart. So we did use this keyword. We have not used rave yet. We did use psychedelic again. We split up psychedelic shirt, so we have psychedelic and we have t-shirt at the end here. Amazon picks up on that, so we're gonna make a check. We use LSD right here. We use Molly because that is actually in the image, as you can see here. We have not used MDMA. We have not used ecstasy. We've not used rolling, but we have used EDM. So what we're left with, I'm just gonna rewrite them here. Rave, MDMA, ecstasy, if I could spell. Okay, I believe that these 4 are what is missing. So I always do the second bullet point first. And I keep the second bullet point very, very, very simple. I copy the title of my shirt. I paste it, Control V. And then I simply say, makes a great gift for, and then I enter who would make a great gift for. In this case, this is great for people at a rave, people who are at a music festival. So the title of the shirt makes a great gift for people who love to go to the local rave. How about that? So rave, same thing as music festival. And there you have it. This second bullet point here is finished. So I take the title of the shirt. Again, I spent time to go over putting keywords into the title without making it seem spammy. And then I simply copy the title of the shirt, put it in the second bullet point, and then I say it makes a great gift for blank. Whoever it would make a great gift for. If you're doing a gun shirt, this makes a great gift for people who support the Second Amendment. If you're doing a dog shirt, this makes a great gift for people who own a dog or who love their dog. If you're doing a shirt on politics, this makes a great gift for people who support Trump, people who support Hillary. It just depends on what your design is and who would make a great gift for. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, why would you reuse this? You've already put the keywords up here. I have literally done that since the beginning of Merch by Amazon, and it really, really helps tell the merch algorithm that these keywords here are relevant to the design, and you end up ranking higher. I promise it works. But again, this is something that you need to test. Test it out on your own products, test it out on your own shirts, and actually give it a try before you come back and say that, it doesn't work. So now that being said, we have a single bullet point left here. And before we do that, I'm going to check off rave because we did use that keyword. So now we have 3 more keywords that we need to enter in here, and then we have to fill out a product description. I do want to make a point that when you pull back a keyword list like this from the designs that are selling well, you don't have to use them all. Let me say that again. You do not have to use all the keywords in your listing. Sometimes it works better using maybe 3 to 4 keywords instead of whatever we have here, 7 to 10. It all just depends on testing and making sure that the listing is readable to the end customer. So we have MDMA, ecstasy, and rolling. So in this bullet point here, have you seen Molly? I might say this funny, have you seen Molly? What are our keywords here again? MDMA, ecstasy, rolling. This funny, have you seen Molly? How do you spell ecstasy? I'm always misspelling things. This funny, have you seen Molly ecstasy design? Remember, because I'm going to put this on, long sleeves and hoodies. So I don't just say t-shirt, I say design so I can copy and paste. This funny, have you seen Molly ecstasy design is great for people who want to get a laugh while rolling at the club. Okay, so we use ecstasy, we use rolling. Then I might follow it up by, remember, I'm trying to put this into a readable sentence, and since I'm not completely up on drug culture, I do have to think about it. That is why I am not just writing this off the top of my head. We do need to use MDMA. So we use this one. We use this one. What do we say? We said this funny, have you seen Molly ecstasy design is great for people who want to get a laugh while rolling at the club. If you know someone that is taking MDMA, they would appreciate this drug humor. And as you have it, what I always do again is I copy the first bullet point and I put it into the description. So just to recap, I put some keywords into the brand name, but I keep it short and I keep it simple so it's related to the shirt without looking spammy. For the title of the product, I always put either a piece of the saying or the full saying, and I surround it with keywords that make sense. Again, without keyword stuffing, without looking spammy. The second bullet point, I take the title of the product, I paste it in there, and I say that it's a great gift for blank. So you fill in the blank. What is this design a great gift for? In this typical instance, it's a great gift for people who like to go to the local rave. For the key product features, the first bullet point here, I put it in a sentence form, and I try to fit in some keywords. As you can see, I fit in some keywords here without looking spammy. So I said, this funny, have you seen Molly ecstasy design is great for people who want to get a laugh while rolling at the club. If you know someone that's taking MDMA, they would really appreciate this drug humor. So as you can see, you can read that out loud. It doesn't sound weird when I say it out loud, and that's what you want to make sure you do. So if you can say it to yourself without stumbling over your words, then you know that you have a good listing. So we'll continue. We will take a look at the product page here. And this all looks good to go. So that is one listing that's completely done. I grabbed keywords from the top selling shirts, but as you can see, if you come over here and you look at some of these shirts, let's just open them up again. If you look at this shirt, for example, you're going to read the first bullet point, psychedelic shirt, trippy shirts for women, trippy shirts for men. I don't even know how to say that. Acid, dimethylene shirt, trippy shirts for teen girls, so on and so forth. Terrible, terrible listing. But you were able to take out keywords from this listing and put them into an actual listing that makes sense, looks awesome, and has a unique design. So that's one way to do this. That is how I do it over and over again. Now, the more familiar you get with the niches that you're doing, the less you're going to have to come over here and look up keywords because you're already going to know them. But if you aren't familiar, you have to familiarize yourself first. So that's very, very, very important. Let's close these out. We have one listing here that is done, and we're going to move on to this one. Now, if you guys can see this, let me try to zoom in here. This design says ketosis is magical. So we will actually zoom back out and click next. All right, so this is not drug related at all, so we can pick youth. There's not going to be any bad words in here. Pretty friendly design. There's a little unicorn here sleeping on a rainbow with some bacon next to him. So again, pick the best colors that work for the listing. Now, for me, that is almost always going to be the darker colors. Blue looks pretty good, so we'll pick that. 5 colors. Again, set your price whatever you want, but I think you all know by now that my pricing strategy is price low, get the initial sales, get the initial reviews, and then bump it up, because you're playing the long game here. So we will continue. And again, we are on the page where we need to fill out the product details for Amazon. Now, again, if you are not familiar with ketosis, just Google it, okay? Ketosis. This is a metabolic state characterized by raised levels of ketone bodies in the body tissue, which is typically pathological in conditions such as diabetes, consequence of a diet that is very low in carbohydrates. So if you aren't familiar with the niche, familiarize yourself with the niche. If you have a basic understanding of what the niche is or does, maybe you need to look up different keywords or phrases, and that is typically where I start my process. So knowing that ketosis, keto is a diet, very, very popular diet for people who eat low carbs. So they cut out carbs, they use it to maintain their weight. It's also a diet used for treating diabetes, so on and so forth. So I can come over here to the product search, and I'm just going to type in keto. So keto is the actual diet. Ketosis is the state you go into on the diet, just so we are familiar. And we're going to let it bring back the results. All right, so it has brought back the results here. Brought back quite a few. We're going to go down here, and we can see there are a lot of designs, and they're selling very, very, very well. Now again, our design right here, okay, looks different than all of these. It needs to be a unique design. But we already went over that in previous videos, so in this video, again, we're going over how to keyword a listing. I'm just going to open up some of the top sellers here. I think that should do it. And I'm going to bring up a notepad. That's what we used before. Going to exit all those out. And we're going to do the same exact process.